All right, guys, welcome back for the final series of the night for WCS EU Challenger Division, Group H. This is the final day of Season 1 here for WCS Europe, and it's been a phenomenal season. And so a huge thank you for everyone who has tuned in throughout the entirety of it. But now we are going to jump into our last series. First game is between Mr. Nerchio and Welmu. One of these players will advance onto Premier, and one of them will go back into Challenger. As we have spawning up to the top right as our blue Zerg. He goes by the name of Nerchio. And then spawning down to the bottom left, we have Mr. NRS Welmu, representing Finland.
Yeah, and so far we can see that Welmu is going to go for a Nexus first, most likely. This is a bit different than what he's been playing lately. It might be because of the map, but lately he's been playing a lot of gateway expands, mixing in some Stargate play, and also doing a lot of robo cheeses. Now, I play Welmu quite a lot on the ladder, and it's really hard to kill him. He's one of the best PvC players in Europe.
Yeah.
He always has something special planned. Even when you play him on ladder, he has he's testing out new builds and so on. He's comfortable taking the game to the later stages, and most of all, he's really good at dealing with mutas. And I say that in fear of what Nerchio is gonna do.
Yes.
Yeah. Last game against MC on this map, Nerchio was trying to do some roach play, mixing in some corruptors, and then he was gonna go for a muta switch, but MC spotted it, dealt with it perfectly, and Nerchio didn't really have that much of a chance against it.
Cheeky little expansion ends up getting down, despite Welmu trying to micro his best around there. But what you were saying before about Welmu having things prepared and stuff like that, you were mentioning robo cheeses. Could you kind of elaborate into what you would see normally from Welmu in that regard?
Well, he has one build that he, but of course it's a gateway expand build.
Yes.
He walls in with a gateway and the robo in his wall.
2 Immortals.
Then he makes 2 Immortals, a lot of Zealots. Everything, all of this is from one gas.
Yep.
And then makes the Warp Prism, pushes out on the map. This is also without the scouting, so it's ridiculously greedy.
It's very strong, though.
Very risky, and it's a strong build. It's a build that will catch someone off guard the first time they play against it. When you play against it the next time, you'll know what's coming, and you shouldn't lose to it.
Now Welmu here has spotted that 3rd expansion, so he should know exactly what's going on. But in terms of these two players, where they've actually come from, Nerchio, if you're unfamiliar with the full extent of WCS EU that's occurred thus far, he was in Premier. He got to the round of 16, but then was swiftly knocked out by Lucifron and then Sase. No shame in that. 2 very strong players. But Nerchio now fighting his way through Challenger and was killed during that Challenger bracket by Grubby. So now he's trying to battle his way back into the Premier. If Nerchio were to go out from Premier here, that's a big upset, I think, going down to Challenger.
Yeah, it would surprise most people.
Yeah.
Nerchio hasn't been doing that good lately, as if you compare him to the Nerchio of 2012, 2011. But still, he's an excellent player, and he's more than good enough to be in the Premier Division. The problem is that Welmu is also good enough to be in the Premier Division.
So we'll see what he wants to do here. He takes himself a 3rd gas, as well as getting that +1 weapons out, along with a sentry or 2. Now just trying to chase away that Zealot. Zergling even. But Nerchio's already doing a pretty good job of getting his creep spread going from his natural. I'm liking that a lot. Just try and get a little bit of control outside your bases. And we'll see if that is able to influence anything if Welmu wants to go for some aggression.
And he already built a Stargate.
Okay.
Nerchio also spotted the quick 3rd and 4th gas. So he might have an idea that something is coming. I think that he will poke back again with his Overlord and sacrifice it eventually to spot if there's a Robo or a Stargate. When you take the gases as fast as Welmu did, there might be a possibility that there's an Immortal all-in coming as well. Because usually you won't need as much gas as Welmu is gathering at the moment if you just want to go for a few Phoenixes. Anyways, Nerchio seems prepared. He's already making spore crawlers.
And he's getting himself that double extractor at his natural as well. I'm wondering if he ends up going for any more than that. We shall see. But that layer is now on the way. Twilight Council going down as well. Huh. A bit quicker than I was expecting. Normally I would see Robo right after that, but he's a tricky man.
Yeah. Okay, there's one thing that Welmu could do that's kind of funny. Like if he gets charge and then gets the other building for Archons, and then does like a Phoenix charge, charge lots and Archons.
The other building for Archons.
Yeah, I'm horrible at remembering names. Yeah,
it's fine, man. Templar Archives. We got
Templar Archives. Anyways. It would be a cool thing to do, but he's not doing it, sadly. He's going to go for a blink.
Yep, trying to get that going as best he can do. 4 more gateways being... Whoa, actually a lot of gateways actually being added on here. So, Welmu, he has a lot of tricks up his sleeve, and this certainly could be one of them. 7 gateways already litter the map. The Phoenix trying to push the Overlords away from where he wants them to. He's making it look a little bit more like an expansion play here thus far.
Yeah, but that's what he wants us to think. This is going to be a Blink Stalker all-in with a lot of Phoenixes. Right now, he's just clearing out the map so that Nerchio will have no choice, or he won't be able to scout what Welmu is doing. Nerchio doesn't even have link speed, so it's a bit hard for him to figure out what he's doing. Welmu recognized that Nerchio sent some links, so he sent his units down again. He also sent a probe. So is he going to fake the expansion?
Maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
He's throwing a pylon down here.
Yeah, and he sent out another probe. Nerchio, however, spotted it, but I'm not sure if he noticed it.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Okay, so with this, it looks like he noticed it. I'm not sure.
He's sending a drone down there, not any of the Zerglings, to try and clear that out, and taking a 4th base off the back of this. I mean, he's linking a lot of lings, but if the hits critical mass of Stalkers eventually, that's kind of scary.
Yeah, but Welmu actually decided to place his 3rd base after all.
Welmu.
Yeah.
I was hoping for an exciting attack, but oh well.
Yeah.
All right, the Zergling's going to try and do some damage over there. Good choice, or to try to at least, but there are a lot of Stalkers as well as sentries there, so technically it could have done some force fields, but there's no point in really wasting that as he was pushing back. Nerchio going for a 5th base as well, knowing that his opponent is pretty heavy set on the fact that he wants to go for macro. He should cancel the Nexus. Cancel the Nexus. Well, they might force cancel.
Yeah, I think so, because there are no gateways there are no cannons. Yeah. This is what he wanted to do. Now, Nerchio figured out what was going on, and he already started 46 slings. I'm not sure if that will be enough. I mean, Nerchio was saving up his gas. If you look at his gas, he wanted to make a ton of Muta.
Yeah.
And now he's in a tough situation here.
Very, very tough indeed. And there's 2 time warps available to this Mothership Core as well if he controls it correctly. He's tried to throw down the force fields, tries to cordon off some of those Zerglings, as well as the drones being pulled off the line as well. He knows he needs to actually separate all of this from this location. He tries to throw down the time warp as well behind all of this, but the Zerglings have got really, really good surface area on these Stalkers. Blink is not coming into effect whatsoever, but still, so many units have actually died off thanks to those +2 weapons, as well as a ton more Stalkers actually warping in. He really doesn't have that many Zerglings left. Only 20 are left here. Too many Stalkers. GG for game number 1. Welmu takes the first game, and now, well, this is a bit of an odd situation.
Yeah, I mean, Welmu tricked us, tricked Nerchio, and then he decided to go for it. I really like this build. I mean, it was a bit obvious that he was going to try to do something, considering the fact that he had that many gates, he had no robo and so on. He was also constantly chronoing out upgrades, and his 3rd base was very late. But it took Nerchio, Nerchio recognized this way too late. I'm not sure, though, that even if he knew that it was coming earlier, I don't think that Nerchio would have gotten enough units out in time to stop it. Because he only had the Spire. He had no Infestation Pit. I don't even think he had a Roach Warren.
He was throwing down a Baneling Nest at the very end to try and get some Banelings out to crash into Stalkers, but...
it would have been too late.
Yep. Well, game number 2 is on the way here in just a second as we join the lobby and get good to go. Star Station, I believe, will be our 2nd map here. So again, Welmu could be a little bit of a tricky devil, or we could see a straight-up game. We'll have to see.
I think Welmu is one of those players that always likes to trick people.
Yeah.
he doesn't have to rely on it, but it gives him an insane edge when it actually works for him. So I would expect him to try for something similar again. Maybe not the Nexus first this time. Maybe something like a gateway expand, and then he's gonna decide if he wants to go for a Stargate or a Robo. I think that he would go for a Stargate just because he's playing against Nerchio. Nerchio, every game now he's gone for the Spire.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I wouldn't be surprised if he's gonna try to go for it again. It just, for me, it seems like Welmu knows exactly what Nerchio wants to do, and he has figured out a way to beat him. Hopefully he has figured out more than one method of beating him.
Well, we'll see. If Welmu is able to take this last game, then he will advance on to Premier, which is a position that he feels that he deserved ever since the very beginning of WCS Premier qualifiers during Season 1. But now we are here. He is one game away from attaining that position to represent Protoss and Europe here. And actually, there's already a lot of Protoss that have gone through to Premier. People like Todd, people like Grubby, etc. MC, for example, as well. So, guys, let's jump into game number 2. This could be the final game of the night, the final game potentially of the entire season, as we have Nerchio and Welmu facing off against one another on Star Station, spawning up to the top right as our red Zerg. He goes by the name of Acer Nerchio. And spawning down to the bottom left as our blue Protoss, we have Mr. NRS Welmu.
Yeah, and as I said earlier, that I expected Welmu to go for a gateway expand, I was correct. So he's going to go for a gateway expand. He probably won't scout, or if he scouts, it's going to be a much later scout. Nerchio, he will not drone scout, so he's going to place a spawning pool before a hatchery, because he likes to play it safer in the early game. If he knew that Welmu was going to go for a gateway expand, he could go for a hatch first, or even 2 hatches before the pool. He could even go for a gas before the pool, like a very, very late pool, and be completely safe, because there's nothing that Welmu could do. But instead, he's going to go for the spawning pool, or is he? No. Okay, yeah, he is.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's a normal play from Nerchio. Welmu adding his first and second gas. Okay, so he wants to go for a quick mothership core, I think.
Yeah, maybe. It's important to note that on ESL, well, this version of Star Station, it is cross positions in force only, so you can account for that fact when making your decisions. And I mean, Nerchio already is. He's sending his Overlord straight away across the other side of the map here, trying to get that good scout off as quickly as he can do, and it's going to take the hatchery behind this. So pretty standard openers, as we see Welmu with 2 in each of the gases, so no deviations from him just yet.
Yeah, and Nerchio knows that Welmu didn't scout, so he is already making a gas just for I mean, a Protoss that is not scouting with his probe is 99% of the time going a gateway expand. The 1% is, of course, he's doing like a proxy gate or cannon rushing you or something.
Yeah.
So Nerchio is pretty safe by taking this early gas. He knows that this will, of course, benefit him quite a bit. It's really important to have speedlings out on the map against a player that gateway expands, because you need to know all the time where his units are, because they can move out on the map and then just recall back, which is really annoying to deal with as a Zerg player. Also, you can catch units off guard. You can catch the probe. Killing the probe is always important against this.
Definitely. Getting that probe very, very useful as for now with that. Mothership Core trying to move on out just to defend this natural a little bit. The Zerglings are already on the way, so we'll get a few pot shots off on these Zerglings. But refocuses on another Zergling there. I think it probably could have killed at least one, but
yeah,
anyway.
It's not a big thing though.
No. And now what do we have actually going on? We have Queens galore, just 2 in total right now, and just not really much else going on other than the fact that he's just left 1 guy on gas to tech up a little bit slower than he would normally do if he had 3 on gas. But why would you have 3 on gas? That's kind of crazy. After getting that speed up and running, just controlling his watchtower, making sure his opponent can't move out too easily. Yeah.
Yeah, and Nerchio saw that there were two more gates, being added. But still, he hasn't seen any tech. I really doubt that Welmu will move out with the Gateway Army. He should be going for some tech behind this. He's currently has a lot of gas, so I think this should be a Stargate. Let's see. What are you doing, Welmu?
Could be.
Yeah.
We'll see.
A Twilight Council again.
Twilight Council.
Okay. Oh,
Why
look,
did he
look
use
at what he
Guardian
did.
Shield?
Yeah.
What a scrub. No.
Yeah. Nerchio saw it.
Yeah. Oh, dear me. Anyway, so there are some times that Welmu can just go straight for DT Shrine, which is always quite interesting. But I've also seen a few 3 gates aggressions with Blink. Who was it that we saw yesterday doing that?
Mana?
Yeah.
No? Bishu.
Bishu,
Yeah,
that's the
Bishu.
one. Bishu. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think he won in the end, so maybe not that cool. But he's spending a lot of his gas on sentries, actually, at the very front. So I'm curious to see what he's going to do with his Twilight Council, because he's just spent all of his gas that he would have...
Yeah, and he sent a probe out. It got killed by Nerchio. And Welmu doesn't really know what's going on. If you look at from his vision, real fast.
Where are we going? Welmu's vision?
Welmu's vision.
Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't know much.
Very little.
Yeah, he knows that there's an overlord seeing everything. That's about it. He hasn't even scouted with phoenixes yet, hallucinated phoenixes.
And he has the energy to do it.
And he has the energy. And I think this is a big mistake. He's playing almost too blind at this point. It would be nice for him to know that Nerchio has a few spines up. He's upgrading something from his Evo chamber, and that he's taking a fairly normal third base. But I mean, Nerchio could have gone for a fast Spire, and it would be difficult for Welmu to deal with this.
Oh god, not only is that going to be difficult for Welmu to deal with, but also now Nerchio is going to scout out another 5 gateways going down over in this right-hand corner. He put them down right next to it. This Overlord was going to see everything. Welmu is going to drop the pylon, though, at the 3rd base. So I think what he's doing is he's making it look like he's doing a similar build to Game 1, but he's actually going to take the Nexus this time.
It could be, because this is too obvious for Nerchio. He's just going to continuing to make units right now. But he doesn't have any creep between his bases, so it's a bit hard for Nerchio to position everything correctly. But as we can see, Welmu took his 3rd base, but you never know, he might cancel it again.
Yeah, he definitely may do. With that blink and +1 finishing up this time. So if he were to push out, he would be at a deficit of an extra plus weapons upgrade that he had in the previous game. So for now, the Zergling's going to try and force the cancellation, but that's still a pretty strong army here from Welmu, so doesn't want to get too crazy. And Groove Spine's now going down for Nerchio, so he's playing a bit more defensively here with these Hydras.
And the 3rd base was cancelled. He didn't even continue making probes, so it was, again, this was just to trick Nerchio. But this time, I don't think it's going to work. Nerchio has Hydras on the way. There are also some spines, and he's already forcing Welmu to waste force fields. Almost got a few units. He got the pylon, which is very important. Does Welmu even have a probe out? Yes, he does.
He does, but it just dropped the pylon straight in vision of everything that's going on here due to that that watchtower. So now another pylon gets cancelled. He's throwing down a lot of pylons. This can't possibly work. It's going to be so hard to make it work because of the position that Nerchio now finds himself in. Although he doesn't have that creep still between the bases.
Yeah, but he has so many units, also spines. He should be safe as long as he engages correctly. I mean, Welmu is going to try to go into the main base now, I think, with a good time warp.
This is a very, very clever angle. A very clever angle indeed with those time warps and the force fields going down here. He's actually sectioning off quite a lot of the army. The Hydralists in the back really not doing too much. Look how slow they are, not only off creep, but in those time warps as well. Welmu has force fielded off the main base as well. He might actually do this with the position he found himself in. It's going to be a long shot because there's now Zerglings as well as the drones coming off the line. And he has to blink straight into those Hydralisks to escape those drones. But if he gets the defensive blinks again and those Hydralisks off creep, he could do damage.
Yeah, he doesn't have any more sentries or zealots. So now it's a bit more difficult for him to gain advantage in terms of positioning. So now he needs to fight this army head on. But still, Nerchio doesn't have enough units, I think, to stop this.
The blink control from Welmu there was very, very good indeed. He got a very good trade-off, and he's getting even more Stalkers. He's slowly getting that critical mass of Stalkers that's really, really going to help him out here against this army. He needs to blink back so carefully, and he is due once again catching a lot of those units. Those Hydralisks are also low in terms of their health, and right now it's 38 army supply to 30. 19 Stalkers out against only 6 Hydralisks and 5 Zerglings. I think Welmu just breaks him here.
Oh,
there you go.
gross.
GG. Welmu advances on to Premier League for Season 2 after a hard-fought struggle through all the qualifiers in Premier, not getting that position, going to the Challenger qualifiers, doing very well there, and struggling through Challenger. He gets his position.
Yeah, it's a well-deserved position.
Yeah.
But what I can't believe is that Nerchio fell for the same thing twice. It must be very disappointing for him at least. This is almost as bad as Bishu's exit yesterday. I mean, it just sucks losing games like this.
I know, man. I know. That's brutal. So Nerchio ends up falling down to Challenger. I can't believe that's actually happened, but here we are as the Protoss do advance on forwards. And we can actually have a look at the brackets here, guys, to show you exactly what has unfolded today. As you can see, MC taking that first Premier League spot in the round of 32. Congratulations to him. And then Welmu having fought back. He was very close in defeating MC in that first series. So yeah, that could have gone either way. Welmu could have been first to advance through. But that is going to do it for today, guys. And that does it for the entirety of Season 1 here, WCS Europe. It's been an incredible ride. And have you enjoyed yourself this past 2 days?
I enjoyed it a lot. It was a nice experience. I haven't casted too much before, and I like it.
Good stuff. Yeah. Good stuff, man. It's been a pleasure having you here. And also, guys, you can check things out over at wcs.battle.net. You can also hashtag WCS, tweet at us at StarCraft, at ESLTV. You can check us out at Facebook as well, at all the relevant links. And that's going to wrap things up here from us. It's been a pleasure for casting for you. We now know all the players that are going to be participating in the Premier League next season. Maybe not some of them the ones in Challenger. Still those qualifiers to go through. I'm sure you're going to be playing in them.
Of course.
Awesome stuff. So that's going to wrap things up from here. Thanks very much, guys. Make sure to tune in to the grand finals of Season 1 this weekend over in Korea. And we'll see you next time. Bye for now.